We're going to call this CRA meeting to order on September the 12th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Um, we're going to have invocation by Vice Chair Bloodworth.
Let us stand. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day, Lord. Lord, I just thank you for all the many blessings you've blessed us with in our community here in High Springs, Father. I just ask that you guide us and do your business to serve our community and our citizens, Father. Lord, just bless this meeting. Lord, we just ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, approval of the agenda from September the 12th, 2024.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Chair Miller,
Here.
Chair Bloodsworth,
Here.
Member Whites,
Here.
Member Williams.
Here.
All right, we'll have the approval of the agenda for September 12th.
I make a motion that we approve the modified agenda as presented for September 12th.
Second.
All right, approval of the minutes from, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Sorry, the traffic got. All right, approval of the minutes from July 25th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, new business item number 1, consider, discuss, and act on FY 2025 CRA Innovative Policing Initiative.
You guys hear me? Okay. Hello, Chair and Vice Chair and Board. So in CRA, in Florida statute, you can do innovative policing initiatives. So I think that this year we came up with a good one. I met with Antoine. We batted around a few ideas, and the one that we're proposing with the interlocal agreement attached is for continued services during the holiday season downtown within the core. And then also, this is a new one, $5,000 towards innovative policing equipment. And he's interested in an e-bike, an electronic bike to be used solely in the region, in the district. You want to speak on it, or are you good? Okay. Any questions or?
The questions that I received from citizens were, would this help with the downtown parking as far as compact vehicles only supposed to be parking down there? Would this help monitor that?
I guess if they got the statute in place, yeah, that would be to you.
Good afternoon. So we are in the stages of trying to find the correct statute to use, how to properly place the signage downtown to be able to enforce the compact parking. But at this time, it'll just be used for regular traffic enforcement and increased patrol downtown and stuff to that nature.
Thank you.
To further on that, Chief Shepherd and I today discussed about moving forward after we find the right statute and putting up the correct signage to address the compact vehicle parking issue. So we're working on that.
So the signage that's there now is not correct?
It's not adequate. Not adequate by the statute.
Okay.
And you gotta make sure you cross all your T's and dot all your I's before you put something like that in place.
Would there be any need for specific training for an officer? Like Officer Treese just got certified to be motorcycle. Would there be anything needed specifically to authorize somebody to use this?
Well, currently we have 4 officers, including myself, that are actually been through the school at University of Florida Bike Association.
Right.
So we're already certified.
So
to
that
operate
would,
the
that would
bicycle.
translate to an electric bike as well?
Yes, ma'am. They actually teach that portion in the class.
Oh,
They
nice.
teach you electric, but you go through the class on a traditional style bicycle, which is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of work.
Any other questions? We'll take questions from the audience. All right, so I entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement between the High Springs CRA and High Springs Police Department.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. 4-0. All right, new business item number 2, consider, discuss, and act on FY 2025 redevelopment capital improvement project.
Sorry, I wasn't using my my handy PowerPoint. Hold on a moment. I get nervous, sorry. Okay, so for a capital improvement project, so I feel like now I've been in here for about a year and a half. I kind of have a grasp of what you can, what you can't do based on the training that I've received and studying the statute, studying our interlocal agreement, not interlocal agreement, our strategic plan. And the way that I think that our funds can best be used is to actually do some redevelopment within the district. Parking and traffic, it's been an issue for High Springs CRA Business District. We all have seen it. We know it. The original statutes, the original strategic plan, or 1986 strategic plan recognized this. It was in there, and it's in our current one as well. So I'd like to be the one the board and the CRA group to help finally make this a reality of solving these issues. The request is to begin to move forward with a plan to expand and improve parking within the district. Currently, the area that I have my eye set on is the water tower we have downtown. We own that land currently, so you wouldn't have to, use most of your money to purchase anything. It would just be to improve it. And it's underutilized currently and in blighted condition, and those are no-nos. It's what the CRA is here for, is to solve those issues and to clear up slum and blight, and also make things better for everyone in town. The CRA would like, if you guys are in, to explore options to convert this area into an eco-friendly public parking. I'm proposing the eco-friendly aspect so that we maybe don't have as much runoff issues. You can use permeable concrete and eco-friendly direct paths for the water to run off. There's many, many options. I've been kind of researching and playing, but ultimately, we would get someone to come up with a plan and make sure it's best for us before we entered into anything. But the executive director and I, we envision enhancing this area, enhancing the surrounding streets with sidewalks and lighting, and this would all improve walkability in the district. Because there's a lot of businesses that have popped up around there. Watershed is very, very popular, and their parking is limited. Extreme exposure is amazing, and they've got some great ideas, which I'll go through the slides as well. But if we can do a public-private partnership where we collaborate, I think we can get the best use of the area and everybody's funds and come up with the best solution for High Springs and really make a difference. The areas, these are very rough. I'm not an expert at this at all. But so the first one just shows the lot lines. Then I did in gold the potential areas where we could add additional parking. I mean, there's things to think about there, though, too. So a lot of engineering and research would have to be done because there are some issues related with this site as well. There is a sinkhole with a beautiful tree in it that needs to be highlighted. But, you got to make sure that the space will work for us. And And then there are extra areas along the pavilion where we can carve out other spots. There are currently a few spots that are carved out. There are tree plantings that were done by the arborists and the county, which would grow up nicely and provide shade for that area, but you don't want to disturb those. That's why I think we can niche out and get additional parking for that area as well. When GAI came and did our strategic plan in 2020, they spoke with, they had many, many meetings with Extreme Exposure, and they had ideas of what they wanted to do with that lot behind of them. They wanted to have a pool with apartments to basically accommodate people. So, when you do go on these dives, you have to have a time period to acclimate your body before you can get on a plane and things like that. So if we work together with them, this was their idea for we can enhance the surrounding areas and I think really make it where it's a walkable, usable area that will benefit our city. This is the current conditions. So just a view from 185th is the first one. So right near Bennett's there. They do have 4 parking spots with one of them is handicap. And then the next area that's carved out has 6 parking spots. So that's kind of what I would like to see kind of go down the area, down the line to just add additional parking. And of course, we could resurface it, enhance it. The next view is the northwest 235th Terrace. That's what cuts right behind Extreme Exposure and over to the area near our water tower that I'm interested in. You can see the road's not really a road. So it, would definitely benefit from some love and some funds there to make it a cohesive downtown area. A few more views of the water tower and that iconic waterworks building. That was the original water plant, was a jail at one point. I think that really needs to be highlighted. Eventually, maybe a museum, or there's many ideas that could go in there, but if we start, then we can build on this while we have the CRA in place and while we have CRA funds. And just a few more views. So you can see Watershed. They just have that little strip of parking, so they would really benefit from additional parking. And then just a few views of the current condition. So CRA funds can be used for demolition. There's the back side of at the bottom here, the picture, the white building. That used to be where the Public Works, that was their building. They would eat lunch there, but it's mold. It's very mold ridden, and they call it the dungeon. So it needs some love, or to be demoed, which you could use CRA funds to clear all of that up as well. And then there's that pretty tree. It's a beautiful live oak. I think it needs some love and to be cleaned up the area and appreciated the way that I feel like it should be. And just a few more views of the space, just so you see what my thoughts are. I know there are a lot of challenges to this. You'd have to fence around your water tower. You don't want people climbing it, but it is done in places like I'm from Pensacola, and in the middle of our parking lot at the beach, Pensacola Beach, they have a water tower right there. It's a more of the pedestal style, so not as easy to access. But I've spoken with Public Works, and they said that shouldn't be a problem, and you don't need a whole lot of area. So, engineering, all that would come into play. I have a vision, but ultimately you would get experts involved to make it really where it's a project that'll be long-standing and really benefit the High Springs community for, decades to come. And the neighbors around, too. We could provide sidewalks and walkability. That would help them as well. But there are those aspects we'd have to think about, like lighting and, runoff and all of that, because you don't want to impact anybody negatively. So just to cite our CRA strategic plan, In there, there's a sense of place and appearance. I don't know if you can read these, sorry, they're just kind of small, but all of the highlighted areas, it basically points back to how we can do this. So under sense of place and appearance, the top priorities are develop a well-designed parking system, upgrade basic infrastructure, lighting, streetscapes, and stormwater management. And that's on page 24 of our strategic plan. On page 26, transportation, access, and mobility, it also has a nod to that there. Expand parking supply and locations to better serve downtown users. Enhance sorry, I can't read myself, trail systems and connections and complete street designs. And then the environmental aspect, the community, that's on page 30. The community should be a leading steward to develop and promote an ethos of environmental stability. So it's not a new thing I'm coming up with. It's my job to follow the plan and try to, get some of these things accomplished. On page 34, the Keepers of the Vision, there the mission statement is a complete strategy of action organized around public-private partnerships that focus on projects, accountability, and champions to get results. So that's where that public-private partnership would come in play. And then the top priorities there align budgeting and financing options to priority projects and programs. That's why I'm pitching it to you so that I've got it in the budget. So I really feel strongly about this. And then on page 45, upgrading the public realm, lighting, maintenance, and parking upgrades, develop additional well-designed public parking areas, develop, I can't read, sorry, I can't see this, I blocked it out. Stormwater system to reduce flooding, design systems, basically to connect the corridors. And then on page 53 of the strategic plan, invest in infrastructure that improves walkability, safety, parking, and lighting that enhances the overall appearance of downtown. And I believe that this project would do that. So to kind of tie it all up, by adding additional well-designed parking, we can address current parking issues, driving issues, and pedestrian issues that we have on Main Street, US 27, and Northwest 237th Street. That's the Priest Theater, Prohibition Pizza, and Brewery Road. The way that the parking is there, it basically, when people are parked, I don't know if you can see it up in there, it becomes like a one-lane, that you kind of have to wait and play chicken for the next person to go. So if we have an option for people to park at, or another option to add additional parking, I think we can take some of the stress off of those other areas and really address some of the problems that have been here for quite a while. And this would improve walkability, parkability, drivability, and ultimately livability. And that's what I've got. What are your thoughts?
Any questions?
Do we know if there would be any issue at the water tower far as drainage, since that is a water source there? I mean, since we just had the same issue with the mini storage, retention pond runoff. So I was just curious, have y'all already spoke to somebody that possibly that is okay? And you mentioned that you saw that in Pensacola, that they had parking around a water source?
Yeah, it's in the middle.
So how did they do it about drainage, as far as?
There it's just all asphalt, but that's why I was wanting a permeable or semi-permeable surface so that it wouldn't affect it as much. And we can do this in stages as well. We can clean it up. I mean, I'm not sure this might be a hefty load, and we do have some money, but I know it'll take more grants and other opportunities around. The county might be willing, they love projects, so they might be willing to help with us on that as well. But I think if we go for the eco-friendly option, then there shouldn't be, you know, that's why you have the engineers come in and do their thing. But that's where I'm leaning towards on that, because I don't want to have issues for anybody, you know, with our main water source or surrounding neighbors as well.
I have a couple questions. First of all, nice job.
Oh.
This is a great idea. I love this idea.
Thanks.
On 237th, as that goes all the way back to Post Springs Road, there are many, many, many blocks with no stop signs. Would it be possible, as part of this, to wrap something, to have that looked at? Because if you go to the other side, to the east side of Main Street, where you've got those neighborhoods, there's lots of stop signs, so there's not a lot of fast traffic. But down 237th, when people know they're on Post Springs Road, they don't want to go all the way out to Main and make a left and wait.
Yeah,
they
they
come down
cut through.
237th. And then there's a jog in the road there by the brewery, and then you've got a lot of pedestrian traffic, and it just seems like a recipe for disaster because there's nobody stopping down that. Is there, I don't know how far out the CRA district extends down 237th, and if that could even be part of this or not.
We can look at it, but yeah, we are boundary specific.
Right,
But
right.
within our boundaries, we can do a complete streetscape, and
Yeah.
along with that would go signage and sidewalks and eventually the pretty stuff like, you know, benches and plantings and eventually wayfinding. I mean, I think that would be great to have. So yeah, definitely something to look in, but we're very narrow.
We just recently expanded it to include the peanut mill, so I'm not sure how far
Well,
down.
it hasn't totally been
Hasn't
approved
been,
yet.
but we're in the process.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
not sure
yeah.
how much farther we could even get down 237th.
Yeah.
As far as the
But
parking spaces,
The city can always contribute and match. You know, it doesn't, CRA can take care of what's in the CRA
Right.
and enhance it and get it going, but ultimately, it's all of the different partnerships, so.
as far as the parking spaces by the pavilion, how close are we encroaching on CSX property if we?
We wouldn't,
We have
because,
enough space?
yeah, it's
Okay.
within, because it wouldn't go further than those ones that are notched out
Gotcha.
currently.
Okay. The water tower, old waterworks building, it's a gem.
Iconic, right?
Really, really
Yeah.
is. And and the thought of that being a museum, that would be amazing.
That's what I've been dreaming about.
That would be, it'd be a great location.
Yeah, yeah.
Great building. I love the idea. And, you know, I could see this as a 5-10 year plan. I don't know if
Of
we, you know, we
course.
can't afford to do this all in 1 year.
No. But if we start
Getting the ball
small.
rolling. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
To help the ball rolling, Amy doesn't know this, but about a half hour before this meeting started, I met with our lobbyist, and there's a community block grant that's out, that's towards, if this fits in real nice, so Amy doesn't know this, but her and I are probably gonna have lunch Monday or Tuesday, and we're gonna discuss, and we're looking at about requesting between $600,000 to $750,000 to go towards this project.
Sweet.
There will be a match of 25,000, but the CRA can do the match. But that may help move this project along.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Well, wasn't that also the Public Works office at the time? I believe my dad was in that
Yeah,
role.
that
That's
was
where
their hub.
They showed up, and that's where they started from.
Yeah, but
okay.
as it
I
got
thought so, but I wasn't
deteriorated
100%.
over time,
Yeah.
they moved out, and now they don't really utilize it.
Yeah.
How much property do we own there? What's the square footage in terms of the land? Do we know?
So Christie pulled those numbers. It's approximately 1.1
Acres,
acres.
okay.
But you do have those environmental factors, you know, with the sinkhole in that one area, and then around the water tower there.
Sinkholes are always a problem. But the fact that there's a well-established old tree
Yes.
means it should be a fairly stable sinkhole,
Yes.
hopefully.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
like,
yeah.
you know,
It's
back
been
here.
there forever. Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Do we know the estimated amount of parking spaces that this would actually bring in? Oh, we don't know yet.
I don't. It would just be a guess if I said,
This
but
is- Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no. Go ahead. No.
This is kind of getting the ball rolling in the concept phases. If we get the okay on this, this allows Amy to start drafting up and talking to project engineers about what we can, what the setbacks, that will help determine how many parking spots we can have.
And then has anybody reached out to Dr. Jack? Yeah.
I haven't yet, but I'm looking to use the best use of our funds. I think eventually we could, but we don't own that property. So you'd have to purchase it if he was selling it and all of that. And that would eat up most of our chunk. So,
Yeah, because I know we mentioned about the facade grant being able to be used for that. Would it be able to be used for that?
Used for
no.
what?
It can't be used for that. Like if he wanted to make that a parking lot in the back of his building.
The facade grant, no.
Okay.
No, that's for a facade of a home.
The
But
exterior.
CRA can work with those public-private partnerships, so maybe we can form one with him to add additional spaces. I'm just grabbing at this because we own the land, so there's a big bit of the cost taken care of there.
Very good. Well, I like it. I think something needs to be done around that plant there. That old waterworks building. It's in bad shape. Like the
Yeah.
old jail. I always said if a hurricane came through him, send me over there. To the old jail.
Sturdy brick, been there
Oh, my
forever,
God.
yeah.
It's bricks, concrete.
Concrete too, oh, yeah.
If you ever go in there, concrete ceiling, concrete wall, I mean, probably that thick.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. But as long as we're going to preserve that old
yeah.
building, yes. Okay, very good. I say get the ball rolling.
Oh,
I
yeah.
second that. Can that be official? First motion and a second.
Any questions from the audience?
Julie Tapia Ruano. Something to consider and going forward with this is how the lighting might be lower, well, I guess it's shielded, or so
Dark
it's
sky.
downward only to
Dark
keep our
sky
sky
lighting.
pollution low. And would we ever consider maybe making a pedestrian only zone? Maybe like I'm thinking of Second Avenue in Gainesville where they have little pylons that's walkable in that street that the Priest is on and the brewery and eventually the peanut factory. If we could, we would be losing a few spaces there, but if we're gaining them somewhere else, maybe that would facilitate a walkable, festival space and where people can have the benches but there's no car traffic for those 2 blocks. Something to consider. Thank you.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, y'all already got one.
Motion and we seconded.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right. Item number 3, consider, discuss, and approve FY 2025 CRA budget.
I'm glad you approved the others because I got them in here. I was really nervous. So Diane and I, finance, everybody, we've all been working really hard to pin this down and be completely transparent with what funds we have and how they can best be spent. So this is the budget we're putting forward. What do I do with my little sheet? And then I do have a breakdown on the next page. I did do a little correction on here. You'll see the red. The copies you have don't have that. We approved 2 commercial facade grants, but we haven't awarded them yet, so they weren't reflected on our sheet. So this is just a correction for that, for 20,000. So it looks like next year we'll have 60, but it's really the 20 carrying over from the 2024 fiscal year. And then I reduced the other little red line on there that I have up here, reduces the capital improvement project money by 20,000, just because I don't want, I want it to all be a balanced budget. So the numbers stay the same, just that little tweak to account for those 2 commercial facade grants that are underway. So then just a budget breakdown. So I kind of broke it down with the revenues. So we get our revenues from tax increment financing, or TIF. But that's going to be approximately $304,000. So it's always a match. So the city and the county, and that's based on millage rates as well. So that's why I'm saying approximately, just because you never know until December when the actual amounts come in. Rental income, we have 12,000 because the lovely building department rents from us, and they have, half of the building, and so that's for their full year. And then in our trust fund, there was some money in there, so this is an appropriation of prior year funds, and it's approximately $322,700. We're not quite sure on the exact amount yet. We're waiting on audits and things to be finished up, but it looks like that's around the ballpark, or at least a conservative number for it. And then we do get some interest income. I'm not sure what that would be next year, though, because it is based on how much you have in the account at the time, and if we're pulling it out for projects, it may not be as much as it was, but this year it was a good amount, so we're on a conservative estimate. We're thinking $1,500 for that. And then grants, we're going to look for grant opportunities as well to help embellish and boost our budget. And it sounds like Jeremy already got one. Whoop, whoop. And then, so the expenditures, so a large chunk of that is for the capital improvement project. I'm conservative, we're saying about $335,000 for that, and that covers planning, professional services, and then the capital improvement project that we have that in that line item. Commercial facade grants we have for $6,000. It's really $4,000 for next year, but then the two from 40,000 missed a zero for next year, and then 20 for those other two projects that are underway currently. And then we allotted 20,000 for the residential facade grant program, and we've gotten a lot of response. Unfortunately, our area is very small, so I feel so bad every time I have to say, no, you're 2 blocks away, or, but at least there's interest. And I'm thinking I might drum up some with maybe flyers for our actual area as well, because I'm not sure if people are realizing that we have this out there yet. And then the CRA building, it needs a little bit of love. It's old. It's the old train depot. So the back portion of it, the siding needs some repair. There's a beam inside we need to have looked at. When it rains really, really hard, sometimes water comes in, so we got to figure out why and how that's happening. And then there's some issues underneath because the building was kind of open, so I guess the cats were getting in under there and pulling the insulation down, so that all needs to be addressed. I didn't want to address it in the summer because that's really hot to climb under there. So we're going to do that at the beginning of next year, or fiscal year 2025. And so we allotted $15,000 for that. It may be more, maybe less, but I thought that was a good point, like starting point to really assess what we need to put into it to maintain our asset. And then personnel we have broken down there. It looks like a large number, but that's with me and Wayne, and then also all of the wonderful benefits we get from here. And then our operating costs there too, but that includes everything. That's our, utilities, your insurance, operating, to buy office supplies. It's everything else is in that last line item for $85,700. So that's our budget that we're putting forward, and yeah.
Any questions?
What's the professional services line item here?
That's, so any professional services we need to go towards our capital improvement project, that's separate, because I didn't know how to break it up. I just wanted to make sure that we had the right people. So as far as planning or engineering or whatever kind of things we needed.
If we're going to involve engineers, this may not be enough.
Okay.
Well, 2 people instead of 1 makes more sense.
It does, yeah. And then we were also thinking if the chair wanted to take any classes as well. We put a little extras for that as well.
Salaries, that's you and half of Wayne?
Yes.
Okay. It's up 7%.
And I did a little higher just in case we had overtime with anything. I don't get overtime because I'm salary now. I did get that bump. So that may be an overestimate. I just didn't want to go over
Okay.
budget on it. Very err on the side.
So this is just placeholders.
It's based,
And
yeah,
balancing the
based
budget.
on true numbers, but then with a buffer in there just in case.
Okay, gotcha. And of course, our insurance is going up.
Everything, yeah.
I think that's all I had.
Any questions from the audience? All right, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 24-25 CRA budget as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same side. All right, discuss and consider an act on residential facade grant application.
So this is why it was amended. We had an application slip in, so we were able to add it in. And I think it's a good project, too. It's for Michael Gallipo, and his address is 23862 Northwest 187th Avenue. So yeah, we just, with the recent rollout of the residential facade improvement grant, we had this application submitted for approval, or for consideration, sorry. So he submitted it on September 9th, and I'm glad that we were able to get it in for him. So the residents, it's an older home. It's one of those historic ones. He told me it was 100 years old, but looking on the property appraiser, it looks like it's 90. So it's either between 90 and 100 years old. And he's maintained it well. I'll show you some pictures. We can go back. He's maintained it well, but the windows are having issues and need to be repaired. And then what he's proposing is that he'll also do a full paint and take care of the roof. It's the original roof, and he's been getting it coated. I think he did it several years ago, and I don't know what the date was. I probably should have asked, but this is covered in there as well. So he's proposing he wants to replace the windows, pressure wash, prep the building for paint, and then they'll paint the residence and recoat the metal roof. So the total project cost, he has two different, so the window replacement would be $2,591, and then the painting quote was $2,353 for a total project cost of $4,944. So our 50% match would be $2,442.
This is a beautiful house.
It's so cute.
really,
I
really
know.
lovely.
They take good care of it.
Yeah.
If I may, Madam Mayor, the half point would be 2,472. Is that that?
Did I do my math wrong?
4944 divided by 247.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's on this page. It's not on the front page, but it's on the.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So 2,472. Sorry, my math is wrong.
Still within the parameters that are acceptable.
It's under the 500
for
or
the
5,000.
grant. I make a motion, we approve this first residential CRA facade grant for $2,472.
Yeah, the right amount.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Amy. The report that I have before you leave, Amy, I want to let you know that you are the Employee of the Week.
Oh,
Hey.
Oh,
I
my.
got so many phone calls Tuesday after the chamber mixer that you did an excellent job.
Be my next question. Were you going to do that at the house when that went through?
Yes, I have a bunch ready to go,
Okay.
but they do have one there. That was a great suggestion, and I ran with it. But yeah, so they did the full. They did the vapor barrier on the back, replaced the damaged siding, complete paint, reglazed the windows, and then special attention to those two up front. And I think it turned out great, and hopefully it'll be around for another 124 years. Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
I have a quick question, if I may, Mr. Chair, sir. In terms of CRA expenses, now we've gotten expenses, and I probably should have asked this question during the budget conversation, so my apologies, but we've taken funds out of CRA where they should not have been. We are spending. So understood that the Christmas event is no longer, we can't spend CRA, we're not allowed to. You know, in terms of making it more festive, as you know, you made my 21-year-old's day with your with your fall wreaths. She absolutely loves them. So we're permitted to do some kind of decorating. What are the limits and what can we do to help?
So we're going to help redevelop the wreaths that we have for the pole decorations. We can do beautification, things like that. It's just tricky with the CRA money. That's why I gave you guys the packets that kind of tells the ins and outs of what you can and can't spend money on. It's anything that boosts and is extra. It can't be a supplement to the general fund. So Christmas is a no-no. 2019, that was completely stopped. They entered into that contract in 2021, so really it shouldn't have been used that way. And it never was previously. So as a one-time thing, you can do it for something like, so I think in 2015 or around there, that's when CRA funds went towards a Christmas tree and with ThemeWorks. That was a one-time thing. It benefited the city, it benefited, but just the way Florida statute keeps changing, they've really made it where they want redevelopment to happen. They want to put it back into the region and do what you're supposed to do with it, and then eventually move on. It can't be something anything that really is a lasting time and time again thing, you can't do it. It's like a one-time with a way out, you know? So even the plants and stuff, we're doing them now, but eventually the city needs to take that over.
Really?
Things like that,
Okay.
yes. So
Okay.
I'm gonna meet with the garden club and hopefully we can do like some kind of a partnership with them where they can, help plant and things like that.
So
But
could you buy, we've got the lights around the light poles downtown. Could we buy festive lights, like green and red lights or something as a one-time thing? It would be reused, but would that be an appropriate use of funds?
it's a decoration. I don't really see how that's redevelopment. So no, we did
sure,
we
sure.
did the pole lights that are
Yeah,
out because I was, I could justify it as, okay, that's another element for people walking on the streets. You have that other, lighting feature. So we were able to do that, but really, unless it's bigger and better, you can't really do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I was, when we had the meeting with CRA, we talked about those lights, if we tried to do them downtown, but because different businesses own the different buildings, it would be pretty difficult, because I thought about framing the top, because my neighbors, they have LED lights and they change colors with seasons, so
Right,
it's like
right.
orange for October,
Right.
but because it's so many different owners, that won't work.
Okay.
The light bulbs that were changed out downtown, that was CRA funds because they were an enhancement. There was LED, the different,
So it was a safety and a visual enhancement?
yes. But, unless really it's a new streetscape or anything, you can't really, it gets tricky because you don't want to misappropriate the funds.
Sure, yeah. No, I appreciate it. I mean, we need to have the money where it belongs, and
Yeah.
I'm learning. as we
Yeah,
go.
all of us.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Hey, Amy, I was just curious, for a business or residential that actually accepts and gets a grant, are they able to receive another one later on for another project as well?
Yeah.
So just not one time for them as.
Yeah,
so
they can do additional projects.
Okay.
Just the project, where the money goes, it has to stay for at least 3 years in place. So they can't paint and then decide, oh, no, I want a different color, and then they get a grant for painting
Or tear something
again.
out that they had paid for. Okay, that's
Yeah,
a good,
yeah.
good deal. Okay.
Yeah, but they can always add on and improve.
I was just curious about that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, I make a motion to adjourn. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Before you do that, Mr. Chair, I wanted to take a second. Amy should be commended for all the work that she put in tonight. She's done a great job learning this CRA. I'm gonna be going to training, the same training she went to, so I can better support her. But she has the downtown corridor best interest in heart. She's put a lot of work and a lot of passion into this. She should be commended. She's doing a great job, and we're lucky to have her.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you guys are going to make
Deal.
me cry.
Thank you.
Well, clearly, Mr. Chair knows as
I
well.
know.
Thank you for making my Sarah's day, too.
Oh, she made my month.
Absolutely loved it.
All right, now I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, sir.
Thank you, guys.